Welcome, welcome everyone. Super excited to have you here for our weekly collective reading. A lot going on this week energetically, right? Really stepping into that new, and when we step into that new, things come up. Over on our Inner Circle Telegram support app, which is amazing. We are just walking through the day together energetically, feeling into the energy. I've been doing little grounding visualizations and then, deeper meditations and connecting with each other, which I think is what we're missing at the moment, right? That deeper spiritual connection with people that are like-minded. It's been absolutely beautiful. And of course, this week we have jumped into ritual work. So on the portal itself, and that is uploaded, is the beautiful first step in rituals, where I'm imparting my wisdom and knowledge. So jump on, join in to the Inner Circle, and let's just keep going with building such a high vibrational community, because that's what's needed in our world right now. Okay, let's jump into our weekly collective reading. So what's coming up this week? We have the swords, the Nine of Swords. We have the Four of Wands. And we have the Princess of Cups. Now, it's quite interesting because the energy that's coming up this week collectively is we've gone from that whole let's step into our power, let's, move through this and make sure that we're on our highest timeline, and having the opportunities to do that with the balance of the feminine and the masculine, the Venus and Mars transitions we've just gone through. And then this is when things come up for us, right? When we are asked to step onto a higher timeline, when we're asked to really embody what our soul is craving and what we're here to do, it's interesting how things like this come up. We have that anxiety, self-doubt, guilt, like there's big trigger emotions. And what does that do? Disrupt our energy. So if you've read the newsletter this week, it's all around, making sure we balance our energy back out. If you have not had a chakra rebalance and alignment within the last 6 to 8 weeks, this is your sign to go and do that. Because when we are trying to transition into higher timelines, higher frequency, more abundance, it disrupts and brings up that shadow self, where we question, where we worry, where we have anxiety, where those old soul fragments, those old parts of us that have experienced poverty or unfulfillment or even abuse, right? Or trauma, they come up to say, hey, is it safe to do that though? We're kind of safe where we are. We're feeling really good here. But are you? Are you really? Like, if you are working on yourself and wanting to elevate, then obviously you're not exactly 100% comfortable with where you are. You want more. You want more expansion. You want more peace. You want more flow. And this is that energy coming up to say, oh, but, it's not always safe out there. And I get that. My body does that too. And what do we do when that comes up is we transmute that. We really work hard on, there's my pussycat making sound. We really, she's doing a little meowie. We really work hard on needing to shift that out of our energy. We need to allow our body to be in full energetic balance to be able to release and transmute this feeling. And so it needs to be done on, yes, a psychological level, where you need to really have a chat with that part of yourself and say, well, hang on a second, that's not really my reality. And then you need to energetically go through a process of release of that. And when your energy is in balance, which is this focus for this week coming up, really anchoring and balancing things back out again so that we can maintain that higher timeline or fully anchor into that, then we need to make sure that this is sorted. And we can see that this week that energetically we are actually processing that. So we can see here with this beautiful Nine of Swords that this is that reflecting space of, I'm exhausted, I'm looping, maybe my thoughts are looping, maybe I'm highly anxious, maybe there's huge emotions going on, maybe I'm holding some guilt. And so when that comes through for us, we need to address that. And I can see there's opportunities to do that this week. So you may start the week feeling like this, but I love that by the end of the week, you're sitting in the Princess of Cups. And that's because there is supports around you. I need you to really look deeply at that. That Four of Wands energy is the grounded support. It's the stability. It's a sense of coming back into that safety that we just spoke about. It's actually anchoring your body, and maybe that's through energetic work, or maybe that is through actual sitting in the presence of a soul sister or in a group like our group and actually saying, hey, this is where I need some support, so that people can see you. So whether it's your home, your relationships, your friendships, or your environment, there is a safe place available for you that you haven't fully allowed yourself to explore. And so this card brings the reminder that you are more supported than your thoughts really are telling you. You know, your brain sometimes tricks us when we get into these loops and spirals. Everyone hates us. We've got no friends. There's no support for me. I do everything. Really take a step back and see, okay, so who am I not leaning into that I can? Who do I always support that I can actually say, hang on a second, I need a moment. Remember, we always talk about, please ask them, are you available for 15 minutes, 20 minutes for me to be able to download onto you, or for me to explore something, right? So always asking for that consent and feel into that. And sometimes, you know what, sometimes it's not even about having to have that big debrief with someone and explore your emotions. It's about getting yourself back in your energy, getting yourself aligned and going, you know what, I'm going to set a lunch date with my best friends. I'm going to go for that beach walk with my partner. I'm going to go and see my daughter who I haven't seen for 6 months. And I'm going to go and just spend time with her because she brings me joy. And so actually building in something that will regulate you and make you realize that, hang on a second, it's distorting these loops. I'm breaking that pattern. And that's all I needed. I needed to know that there's other people in the world that bring me joy, and that I have joy and high vibration available to me in my life. And that's where we sit at the end of the week with the Princess of Cups. And I love that this is a container where we can energetically support ourselves and make that step forward and go, you know what, get good in my energy, make some beautiful shifts into realization that I actually have people around me and structures around me that support me. It might not even be around loneliness or fear or, you know, that, oh my goodness, self-worth. It may be around the fact that I'm exhausted. I'm actually showing up each day exhausted. So what systems have I let go? For me personally, I know that if I'm starting to get super busy in my world and I'm doing, you know, ritual work and healings and readings and whatnot for 15 hours a day, that my nighttime reset routine, I'm usually too exhausted to do it. And then I start my day wrong because I'm walking into my kitchen that I haven't fully scrubbed down and put back in order. I'm walking into my meditation room where I haven't already set up my meditation space that I can easily glide in the next morning and sit and anchor. I'm having to go through and decide what I'm doing and having to put things away. And I'm starting in a space that already brings me back into a loop of, oh, there's so much to do. And so that's where it may not even be a person. Maybe you need to hire a person if you can. But for me, I don't want another person to manage in my household. I want to be able to have a routine and bring my structure back in and go, regardless of how tired I am or how overwhelmed I am, I must do my nightly reset. And when I do my nightly reset, my next day, it's like, future Christy, thank you so much. Past Christy, thank you so much. I'm doing this for future Christy. Oh, actually, it's breaking the loop of the overwhelmed, because I'm not waking up in the morning going, there's so much to do. I'm waking up in the morning with gratitude of going, oh, wow, let's move straight into peace. Let's anchor into that meditation space. oh, I can just pour my water in my chalice and everything is ready because my chalice is clean and cleared and away. I know where to grab that from. It's not like, where did I leave that last night? When I get up in the morning, I go for my walk. Oh, I didn't put my headsets on charge last night. Well, hang on a second. How can I download and actually produce the content that I'm producing for my group in the morning when I go for my big beautiful walk if I don't have my headset ready available? Oh, now that prolongs my walk for an hour because I've got to charge that. Can you see how that looping starts to happen? It takes 2 seconds to have a routine of popping everything on charge the night before, so that when I wake up and having my clothes ready, so that when I open my eyes in the morning, do my gratitude practice, I grab my things, get dressed in the clothes that are laid out, pop them in my pockets, and off I'm out the door. I come home, I walk into my beautiful meditation space, it's ready, I'm grounded, I'm anchored, I press play, I'm gone, I'm done. Then the next thing, I walk into the kitchen, I can make my breakfast, I can make my pot of tea because everything is in order. Can you see how that feels different? And then we move into that beautiful energy because we can maintain this energy. The beautiful Princess of Cups, she softens. Everything is in order. The emotions are renewed. We've got a gentle connection, that intuitive openness, and everything is in alignment again. And that's because you've got your processes. And maybe it's not about process and structure. Maybe it is about people for you. And so we bring that back together just by having and realizing that this is a looping anxiety that can be tamed. And it is this week. This week you have the opportunities to do that. And I hope that my little story there has given you something that you can go, oh, actually I can take something from that. Yes, this week I'm going to go and meet up with my girlfriends and do my high tea, which I have been dying to do since Mother's Day with my girlfriends, right? And then you can actually step into that. I am supported, I am open. My intuitive abilities are clear because I've made the space for that. I'm not in this mindset. So this week is very much about having this process, knowing that you can, and being able to recognize what's available for you. And maybe this reading was exactly what you needed to be able to step into this energy from this energy. Sending you all so much love. Have a magnificent week. The 5-day card reading challenge is still available if that is something that is calling your name. I ask you to sit with that and feel into that. It's 15 minutes a day. Helps with opening your intuitive abilities. And of course, as always, come and join us in the inner circle. Would love to have you. Sending love.